do you think the bull run's over now then?
Nah, we're just getting started, brother.
So
get ready for $1 million Bitcoin, baby.
When?
Yeah, the next couple of years. It's going to take a while. Because if it's not through the value of Bitcoin, it's through the depreciation of the dollar. So it'll just compensate in that way. Remember, the dollar is just supposed to hold its purchasing power.
What do you think about Mt. Gox and all the money that's flowing in from that?
A lot of these different avenues will get eaten up by the ETF. You know, the big companies are buying up all the Bitcoin. They're realizing they have so much money. They have so much excess. They need to create markets. Markets are created. So Bitcoin is a market that still has 100x potential. So rich, successful hedge funds are realizing this. Now they have the government on their side. They're all in.
What do you think the best way to invest is? Buying in at the dips? Because I bought more when it dipped recently, but then I don't like buying on the way up. But I suppose you could dollar cost average in. What would you suggest?
Buy whenever you're okay losing that money. That's how you that's how you got to think about it. So whenever I buy Bitcoin, I hold it. Like my Bitcoin reserve is my Bitcoin reserve. It's denominated in Bitcoin. It's not denominated in dollars. My goal, I tell people, if you can get to a Bitcoin, you're a G, because that's going to be worth a lot. Because in the near future, not every millionaire is going to be able to own a Bitcoin. There's more millionaires than there are Bitcoin. So that could tell you something. You think the craze with NFTs was wild? Just wait till Bitcoin in 2030. I think it's 2030, 2034, something along this timeline. 99% of the Bitcoin will be mined. So there will be no more Bitcoin in circulation. So everything that's coming into existence, the market that's created, is based off of an asset class that can only go up. Because if the demand continues to increase and the supply doesn't, price appreciation. Who's bet on winning plays?
I suppose if they regulate the industry more and like Coinbase can't operate,
it's too late for all of it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Well, with the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF getting approved in the next couple, it's too late. It's too late. El Salvador owns Bitcoin. It's a sovereign nation. You think that they're the only one that is going to ever do it? No.
Is there not something that could be done though if they wanted to? And I don't think that they would, but let's just say somewhere like China, for example, they ban a lot of things that you wouldn't expect them to ban. So if the US wanted to,
you don't need an individual unit. A Bitcoin could operate without the United States. Every Bitcoin related business would leave the United States and go to Dubai and continue operating.
I guess so. It's just that if the United States for some reason didn't like the way it was going, they felt like it was a threat to their power or whatever, and they said that if you live in the United States or if you're American, it's illegal for you to do so. That would obviously put a lot of people off. A lot of the casual investors and stuff would probably pull away from it. And then how would that impact things? Not to say that would happen.
So,
but I think
in the scenario that it would happen, which is impossible, and just it wouldn't happen because people would revolt. Yeah, I just don't see their scenario. It's not even worth presenting. Bitcoin, because it's a single point of failure. Bitcoin will just move elsewhere. The value of Bitcoin will just move elsewhere. If you're not allowed to own Bitcoin in the US, okay, how are you going to stop me from owning my Bitcoin?
Yeah, no, I get that. I think just what I...
Do you still not own any Bitcoin?
Not at the moment. I have done before, but I always just end up dipping out
I
of
just
it.
don't care. I really just don't
Why don't you just buy some and hold it?
No, I will get some. I definitely will get
You've
some
been saying
very,
that
very soon.
for years.
Yeah, I will do
And
soon.
if you had done it when you first said it, instead of buying the watch,
then I'd have probably made some nice money, yeah. But we've already established I can't invest. Every time I invest, I lose money.
yeah, but that's because you
I've
sell
never
it.
made money on an investment in my life.
Why?
Because I'm just too...
He sells it for tax purposes and
just
everything.
fucking start moving shit around.
He messes with the money.
Calm down.
Right, yeah.
Luke's going to question you now.
Let's go.
Why?
Why? What?
Why have you never made a good investment?
Because I make investments that turn out to be good investments, but for some reason I don't have them anymore once that comes into
So you don't have
fruition.
the balls to hold?
Yeah, it must be.
All right.
So you're lacking balls.
It's a lack of conviction.
I've made some great investments.
So you know how you develop conviction? You know how you develop conviction?
Go on. What's your...
Knowledge.
Right.
So if you spent the next 100 hours studying Bitcoin and studying where your money currently resides, you would go to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I get that. It is an ignorance thing. I just genuinely don't care enough.
I understand. That's just NPC behavior. And you will deal with the consequences of of that inaction.
Are they necessarily consequences though?
But if you can't be bothered
we'll see when
we'll
see when they tell you in a couple of years that you got to get vaccinated again, or they'll freeze your bank account.
No, but what I'll do is I'll just buy some with money that I'm prepared to lose, and then just see what happens, and I don't have to know about it.
Yeah, because you're still looking at it as an investment instead of a new form of money. It's a new form of money.
Yeah, I see it as an investment. I don't know. I do just.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
That's okay.
I've always said this.
Yeah, but once again, it's like you need to go through that phase of feeling stupid to then become knowledgeable. And there's certain things that are ROI positive to be knowledgeable about. Like if you're expending life force, time, energy, and attention to generate money, can you hold that invested time, energy, and attention in the year 2050? Can you retain that energy that you've instilled? Because energy can either be created or destroyed. It can only be what? Transformed. Second law of thermodynamics. The entire world is bound by natural law. Fiat isn't, which means it's corrupted. Doesn't work because you're creating something out of thin air. That can't do that. It's against natural law, which means the system will implode. So under that premise, knowing that energy can either be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. What are you transforming your energy into? You need to transform your energy into something that can't be printed more of. So you take your energy and you store it in Bitcoin instead of taking your energy and storing it in fiat, because fiat can get printed out of thin air, because it actually requires physical energy to mine a Bitcoin right now.
I actually get
See
more
you at Bitcoin,
worried.
baby.
Are you going to get some Bitcoin?
He's going to get some Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, of course I will.
Personally,
of course I will.
I get more worried when I have the money in my bank account and I'm going over a threshold and I think, to be honest with you, this isn't going to be covered. I'd rather hold it in Bitcoin because I feel safer there.
Why isn't it going to be covered?
Oh, because of the insurance and everything. There's only so much you can hold in different banks.
Because you're not holding anything.
Yeah.
Because banks do not deposit money. You do not deposit money into the banks. When you give the money in the bank, you're loaning the bank money. That's why you have an interest return. Once you get an interest return, that money is no longer an asset, it's a liability. And then they take that liability and they create credit. They are in the business of buying and selling securities. They're not in the business of storing your money. So once you understand that they're not in the business of storing your money, then you need to store your money. So what are you going to store your money into? Monopoly? Paper that they've been told brings value? Or you're going to find an alternative system? The intelligent person that values their time, energy, and attention, because it's a finite resource and they want to maintain that into the near future, they will find an alternative system. How you're thinking isn't bad. It's just you can't think that way because it's no longer 1915 where money isn't getting printed out of thin air. Back in the day, you could go work a factory job and in 3 years buy a house cash because and you could just save money because they weren't printing more of it. So you can't save money because they're printing more of it, which means the money that you currently have is worth less. So you need to put that money that you currently have, energy units, into something before that thing becomes more valuable. You have to be earlier than the other motherfucker. That's the name of the game, dude. You have to get your money into resources and places before everybody else. That's why the people that bought real estate in New York City early on capitalized. Supply, demand. Supply, demand. What if there's no longer any demand for the dollar? Then we have infinite supply.
I'm just going to do it. I can't be asked to keep going on about it. From now on, every time I save £1,000, I'm going to save £800 to £900 and put £100 to £200 in Bitcoin.
10%,
and then
100%.
we'll just see how that goes. And then I'll
And you're buying Bitcoin to hold Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin and denominated in dollars, you're not buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can't be asked to just say Luke told me so. Luke told me so. I'm such an idiot, and now I've been left behind. So now I'm just not having that.
I think the problem is a lot of people go into buy Bitcoin, then they keep their money on the exchanges. Where do you use like a ledger or something?
Yeah, you have to be in custody of your own funds at all times.
And like the FTX situation wiped a lot of money from people, so they probably feel a certain way about crypto at the moment.
Not your keys, not your crypto. If you put your money where it doesn't have your own custody, just like a bank, just like an exchange, they can take it.
I also feel like some people, especially at maybe the start of their journey as an entrepreneur or just a person that works a normal job, would be better off investing that money into themselves, into their
100%.
skills, into their businesses, which is the route I'm on. So to answer your question is like, why not? Why not? Well, I see the value in it and I will, but in my current period of life, I see more value in, okay, how can I spend that money on things that I'm fully in control of to make more money?
I agree. Do you save money?
I have money saved for a rainy day as much
Okay.
as I would need.
So why are you saving it in fiat? It's finding the best. It's finding the
Yeah.
best alternative. That's all that the game is.
Yeah.
I guess
Just look
when
for
you
the
said
best
like
alternative.
you got to put your money in crypto when you're prepared to lose all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe he isn't prepared to
Exactly.
lose all of that
In fiat,
backup money.
what I have saved in fiat, I know that's going to be, okay, it might be worth a little bit less because of inflation in a few years, but that's staying there. I know where it is. So it's an actual
It's staying
backup.
where?
In my bank account. I have access to that. So I'll be able to access that money if I need to in 2 years' time.
So let's say right now, let's say you have 10 grand. Okay, just
Yeah.
scenario, 10 grand. Let's say you do a private coaching.
Yeah.
I pay you for coaching.
Yeah.
I do a month worth of coaching. I pay you another $10,000.
Yeah.
You take 10 grand, but you give me for that coaching 20 hours of your time.
Yeah.
Took you 20 hours of energy in order to get that 10 grand. Today, you can take that 10 grand and go buy or put a down deposit on a car. In 10 years, if you just held on to that 10 grand, they would have been stealing your time, energy, and attention, because if I went to go buy that same car with that 10,000, I wouldn't be able to.
Yes, of course.
So what is taking place? They're keeping your denominated units as the same, but the value of the unit isn't the same. So they're lying to you, making you feel that $1 is a dollar when it's actually not.
Yeah.
$1 from 1979 to today is $1, 1979. Today is 3 cents.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So if you would have kept 100 grand in there, yeah, you would still have 100 grand, but it wouldn't be worth the purchasing power of that. You need to look at purchasing power divided by the amount of time that it took you to keep that, right? So the amount of time that it took you to generate that, you want to preserve that energy unit as best as possible into the future. You're saving not for today. You need to save in future currencies, bro. We live in a completely different time, completely different horizon.
Bitcoin can do this and this.
But it always does higher lows.
But I think it would have been
Yes.
very difficult to get it today
So-
without any fiat currency.
If I had
Go on, I'll say after.
so I could, let's say I have 100 grand in Bitcoin and then I need that money for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Sell your Bitcoin.
Yeah, but it might be a lot. I might have lost money at that point.
and yeah.
Whereas if I had it in fiat and I had 100 grand in the bank and next year I need 100 grand for whatever
You would
reason,
have temporarily lost purchasing power, yes.
it feels safer to me
Yeah,
to
but-
know
but-
I've got that in my
But the thing is,
Barclays account than
the thing is,
Bitcoin.
you don't understand how money acceleration works. So once money acceleration takes place and the printers turn on, they continue printing. Since 2020 to now, 25% of all circulating dollars were printed in the last 4 years. So in the last 4 years, your purchasing power went down 25%,
yeah.
and Bitcoin went up 50%.
You should save an amount that you, in case something goes wrong and you need that money. Everything else should be
You need
invested,
to
I
have
agree.
your ability to pay for your utilities and pay
Yeah.
for your expenses. What I'm saying is this idea of saving.
Yeah.
I have more of a concern about it than you guys because I make more money. A billionaire is sitting there thinking 8% of my fucking $100 million and my $1 billion cash that I have, I'm losing 8% of that value every single year. They're fucking losing their shit. I'm sitting on 8 figure. I'm like, okay, like I get it, whatever. Those guys are probably losing their mind. So they're trying to find where do they put their money into. Is it always going to be real estate? Always? No, it doesn't work that way. Alternative assets. And Bitcoin, all the billionaires are in Bitcoin, dude. All the smartest guys are in Bitcoin. The guys in payments, they're in Bitcoin. Stripe just opened up your ability to access crypto. We're talking about Stripe. It takes credit cards, deals with normal banks. They're just, boom. Why? Because they see it. They see the future. I see the future. I know where the future's headed. Buy some Bitcoin. Trust.
Fast forward 20 years, do you think that inflation is going to accelerate even more because of those dollars that are printed and will continue to be printed?
Absolutely.
And then what do you think will happen with society? Because if people are still earning similar amounts, the wages haven't increased that much compared to the inflation rate.
UBIs, universal basic incomes.
Right, for not doing anything.
Well,
they're
that's the
just
plan. And in order to get your UBI, you need to get vaccinated like cattle.
Yeah, I'm not going for another vaccination. I had to go for 2 just to travel, and I just absolutely hated doing that.
Yeah. So you were a slave.
Yeah, but then how else am I going to be free? To travel. That's
Make
the
money.
thing. But then
Private jets, baby.
Yeah, okay. I guess you'd need to have a private jet to make it work, but that's
or your ability to live elsewhere and tell this country to fuck all out. I'm out.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. But we specifically needed to go to America, and they wouldn't have let us in to even.
Then
visit,
you don't
let
go to
alone live
America.
there. Yeah, but we yeah. Right.
No, you don't need to.
No, we didn't need to. No, we could have not technically, but it aligned with our goals and it worked.
The point is,
well.
you got jabbed with experimental juice, and you just have to take it for what it is, and it's going to happen again because it was so profitable. You don't think they're going to do it again, bro? Of course they're going to do it again.
It was awful. It was some pussy shit. Like I hate myself for it. I literally hate myself for it. It's the worst thing
You should have done what your mate did.
I know. That's what.
Do you want to say?
Yeah.
No. Don't say it. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, we probably shouldn't go too deep into this.
Yeah.
With this whole move to Dubai in the future, do you think it's worth us doing that? What's your opinion on the place?
Once again, decentralize yourself, boys. You guys are already making money on the internet. Decentralize your ability to move. Decentralize your visa status. Decentralize your passports. You don't need to be worth tens of millions of dollars in order to do it. You just have to have a plan. You can go and look at your ancestry and probably pull another passport out there. You can do these things. Might take some time, may take a couple years. I've been waiting, for a couple years for different passports to come in, trying to do like family, like tree stuff and going back and tracing lineages and trying to get passports that way. Is it expensive? No, not super expensive. It just takes time. But I'm positioning myself in case shit hits the fan. Once again, we live in an era of what feels like peace. Unless you're in Gaza or unless you're in certain places where you're in the middle of a war zone, right? But the truth is, we live kind of in an area of peace. Most of society hasn't existed this way. It just hasn't. So why have we existed in this era of kind of peace? Well, a very simple reason. The US, the UK, they won the world wars. So they were the global superpowers. So for the last 80, 100 years, they were in control.
But like you said, everything's so interconnected now. Do you think a world war could happen? Because if something broke out or 2 countries went against each other, then they would be messing themselves up because of business and deals.
It's called the theory of MAD, M-A-D. It's mutual assured destruction. When you activate, you don't give a fuck. You don't care. And there's plenty of examples today where they're bombing kids out of the sky. They don't give a fuck.
Have you seen those dogs? Like they're like robots, but they're machine guns.
I've seen them. Legs. They're scary as fuck,
crazy.
Dude. Scary.
Some Black Mirror stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Black Mirror stuff is going to happen, dude. It's going to happen.
We're in it.
We're in
the
it.
Trump stuff. We're in it.
Yeah, facts, dude. It's a wild world that we live in. But like I tell everybody, the ultimate goal is self-preparation, self-accountability for everything.
Yeah.
You got to prepare yourself. And as a man, you can't be a pussy. You have to show up. If you have a family, you have people that are dependent, you have to show up. You have to become an elite individual. You have to become an elite individual. We're in a society now where it's, lettuce and veganism and gay flags everywhere. That's what we've curated men to be. Make them weak, make them effeminate, make them feel like everybody's can come together and collaborate, which isn't the case because there's people with bad intentions. And you just take over societies from the inside out. It's a text playbook. It's not the first time that it's happened where they poison food and emasculate men and feminize society. It's happened multiple times.
Where would you say you sit on the political spectrum, if you had to say?
Outside of it, observing this theater show.
He's above like bird's eye view, laughing at everyone.
Observing it.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I mean that's what I wanted this podcast to be more of, like taking points from different sides and forming our own beliefs based on those points. I think that's where the truth lies, and that's kind of, I guess, what Reform was trying to do in the UK. And who knows what will happen in the future.
Big up Nigel, friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show.
One point I just wanted to ask about the passports you were getting. What are the best passports to get if you were to like collect them all?
I mean, you want a European citizenship for sure. You want something from the Caribbean, and then you want something that has no visa issues. It's about visa issues, It's all about guaranteed access into countries. So, for example, the US used to be high up there let's say they were number 3 or number 4. Today, I think they're number 26 or 27. So they're no longer the strongest passport. So just go find a passport that isn't going to tax you, right? Which is a big one. In the US, for example, if you have a US passport, you're a US citizen, I could go anywhere in the world, they'll still tax me, right? So eventually, if you're an ultra wealthy person, you might give up your US citizenship, but you need to have other ones, right?
So have you given up yours?
No, I still have it.
Isn't there something about if you get another citizenship when you're in the USA, you have to revoke your citizenship?
No. So the US has dual citizenship. So you have the ability to have multiple citizenships, but they only recognize you as a US citizenship above all the others.
And they'll still tax you.
Correct.
And then you have to give it up if
Correct.
you don't. Oh, okay.
Whereas if we went to Dubai, they
could
have
just do it.
They have a treaty, which means you can't be double taxed.
Correct.
So you can only say you're taxed
And
in
it's all
Dubai.
based on residency. So for people that are outside of either Australia or the US, which are these two countries that follow you everywhere, even if you're in Canada, you can just pick up and leave and find a better life elsewhere. Just go where you're treated best, where they're not going to tax you out the ass. You're going to have to pay taxes some way, shape, or form. It's just the nature of the game. But if you're out here shilling 45% of your income, once again, don't look at the dollars. Don't look at the amount that you're giving to the government. Look at the amount of hours of labor and productivity that you are just tossing to somebody else. That's what you need to be measuring, the units. So when I live in Puerto Rico and my capital gains tax is 0 and my income tax is 4%, I'm like, okay, good. I'm able to preserve my energy and my attention and my time. And it's an investment to myself, not giving it to some third party that is take this money and fund Ukraine or some other craziness.
Makes sense.
So if we move to Dubai, we lose our British.
No, because
keep
they've
it.
got that treaty.
But
you
it
don't have to-
overrides.
Yes.
We can take advantage of the
You'll
tax.
be taxed in
Gotcha.
Dubai.
Everything will
which-
be fine for you, but it's just in America they fuck you.
America and Australia.
I suppose it's good for retaining people. You're not
Well,
gonna
that's
lose
what
loads of people
that's
to
what countries
Dubai.
want.
Yeah.
I mean, you want the best citizens to come to you.
So, final question: how would you like to be remembered?
I don't care to be remembered. Do you know the guy that built some of the inventions that we have nowadays? Like, yeah, we know Edison. He come up with the light bulb, but who invented the stop sign, and who invented the first camera, and who invented most people don't even know who invented the first airplane or the first helicopter. So all these inventions, these innovations, the person becomes immortalized through the thing that they work on. So just live a good life, maybe leave some good stuff for humanity, and I don't care to be remembered. There's trillions of us that have probably come through this planet at some way, shape, or form over the last couple 100,000 years. So just another grain in the game.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Guys, thanks for having me. I'll see you guys for part 3 somewhere in the universe, somewhere in the metaverse.
Maybe in Dubai. Let's see. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, smash that thumbs up button.
Good, Sash?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Appreciate it. As always.
Got a bit longer than on the yacht because we had to move it, didn't we?
But it was good that we got some good crypto shit.
Yeah.